Am I the asshole? For not wanting to help my wife with Halloween costumes? Context: my wife 29F always makes the kids Halloween costumes. We have 3 kids, 5F, 7M and 9M. She did not have an amazing childhood, and so I think she is constantly trying to make sure our kids do. She home makes every birthday cake, dyes the birthday decorations, makes pajamas for every holiday, and always home makes the Halloween costume. She also does these theme monthly movie nights, where she creates this whole scene. For example, this month was Coraline. She make custom dolls for each kid, welcome home cake and the whole food spread. This is all great, but the problem is she expects me to help. All our kids are in activities, we both have full-time careers, and I believe she stretches herself thin trying to do all this. And also expects me to. We have the money to just go out and buy stuff, so I don't get why we have to do so much. She says these are the things the kids will remember. Anyway, this all came to head as I've been out of town most of the month for work, so she's had to shoulder the full responsibility of the kids. This caused her to be behind on making the costumes, and she's stressed. She was asking me if I'd be able to create one of the costumes for her. She has the supplies and can walk me through. The problem is I just don't feel like it. I told her we can go get a cheap costume, it's not a big deal. Well, she refused and was up all night finishing these costumes. I told her this morning that they looked awesome and she just rolled her eyes. She was making coffee and I asked if she'd make me a cup. She replied, "Go buy one." She's been distant and cold. I was talking to my coworker and he called me out, saying my wife is right, my kids will remember the effort my wife put in and they'll also remember how hard I made it for her. Now I'm feeling off, like maybe I am the R. But at the same time I usually do help a bit. I was thinking this one time wouldn't be a big deal since we were both tired. So am I the asshole? Okay, I'm the R. I'll apologize and see if she needs help with anything else. However, I'm positive half the parents commenting don't do these things and still think they're doing a great job. You're the asshole. I don't feel like it isn't really a valid response. Do you do anything to help her out? Buy supplies for her so she doesn't have to run to the store. Shoulder more of the household chores so she can spend more time on the costumes. You can compromise here. You're the asshole. I was talking to my coworker and he called me out, saying my wife is right, my kids will remember the effort my wife put in and they'll also remember how hard I made it for her. The fact your co-worker is acting as a better husband than you, should be scary for you. For a month you've had nearly zero responsibility by your job, and when she asks you to be an active parent, you just decide I don't want to. Have you always been a lazy parent or partner, or has this always been this way since you think you're too good for it? You've just become a problem chore for your wife. Be careful or she'll have had enough and leave. Not maybe. You're the a-hole. She's behind because she's been working a full-time career and parenting your kids by herself for a full month, without any of your help. And she asks you to help with one thing and you complain? Because you're tired? Really? Her. Asking her to make you a cup of coffee was where I lost it. I can understand you not having the interest in making costumes. Store-bought costumes will not ruin a 5-year-old's childhood. But you could have put in at least some effort since you were asked. You seem to think because you have a job and she has the kids 24/7 that when your day is done, it's done. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. Your wife sounds amazing. Like extra awesome. I'd think real hard about how long you'll go the extra mile. Talented, generous wife will put up with your indifference and lack of contribution. Also, she's right. Your kids will never forget what she does for them. They will also remember how you scorned her efforts. Sounds like your wife has built an amazing and loving family. It would be kinda cool if you joined it. Holy fuck, you're the asshole. I just don't feel like it. Really, dude? I can tell you from experience, she's not going to let you ride her coattails forever when it comes to your kids. They'll remember who thought bringing home money counted as parenting and who actually did things with and for them. That is what she was referring to. Probably gonna go with "you're the asshole because. The problem is I just don't feel like it. You're the asshole. My mom did homemade costumes for us until we were in high school almost, and yes, I do have extremely fond memories of how much effort and creativity she put into them. It meant a lot to me, and I'm sure your children will feel the same way as they grow up. Your wife is doing so much to make your kids' childhoods special, and saying you don't feel like helping her sucks. Go the extra mile with her sometimes, geez. Info: do the kids appreciate and like everything your wife does? Do they like the homemade costumes and dolls for movie nights? However, I'm positive half the parents commenting don't do these things and still think they're doing a great job. Because that's the only way to be a great parent, right? Rolling eyes face. I was firmly NaH until I read this. The problem is I just don't feel like it. I told her we can go get a cheap costume, it's not a big deal. My guy, are you acquaintances or married? Try putting in some minimal effort for your wife and kids. You don't need to be a pastry chef or seamstress, but would it kill you to help out a little? At the very least, you and your wife need to get on the same page about expectations. You're the asshole, bro. You're the asshole. This is something that was important to your wife, and she asked for your help. She's really over the top. I have a sister like this, who exhausts herself on things that she alone thinks are important, and wants everyone to be as excited as she about them. We all want her to take it down a notch or four. However, you lost me when you declined to help with costumes, knowing that she would be up all night. Suck it up and help for once. I was on the fence until your reason was I don't feel like it. I bet she doesn't feel like being a single parent for weeks at a time while you're on your work trips. You did zero parenting for the majority of the month, and you couldn't be bothered to help. Go buy one is a far nicer response than you would have gotten from me in that situation. You're the asshole. The problem is I just don't feel like it. If she is stretched too thin, help her out with what's needed immediately, then address the issue. But what you did here makes you an R. You're the asshole. She's stretched thin because you're not helping. She's being a supermom and you're being a lackluster dad. Your kids are going to grow up with beautiful memories of how hard their mom worked to show them her love with all the special effort she put in. They'll remember you couldn't be bothered to even pitch in. You're the asshole big time. Have you ever thought it's not only for the kids' happy memories, but your wife enjoys putting in the effort, baking the cakes, decorating for the movie nights because it gives her satisfaction and also makes her happy to make stuff with love for the family? You really sound awful. It's not about convenience, you have put no effort into understanding her point of view and you're being a terrible partner. Maybe she would have more time to relax if her life mate and father of her children contributed some of his precious time to helping her with what's important to her. You're the asshole if she's spent a month operating as a working single mom and then you come home and add nothing of value to her life. Why should she keep you around? Nah. Homemaking everything is not a requirement for being a good parent. I think the kids will remember all of the effort that she put in, but you aren't necessarily a bad parent for not wanting to do all of this, all the time. It sounds exhausting. Does she expect you to stay up all night with her making the costumes? Is someone a terrible parent for putting their kid in a store-bought costume? No. Just because OP isn't home making dolls for movie night doesn't mean he's not parenting by doing the regular stuff. However, you are the asshole for asking for coffee. You're the asshole. Hate to break it to you, guy, but you just can't stop being a parent because you don't feel like it. You have an awesome wife who's building a beautiful childhood for your kids and you are detaching yourself from your family with your behavior. Being a good dad means fully participating. Talk to your wife about how you can help her and talk to your kids about what they need. I'd say you're the asshole in this instance, and Halloween was not the hill to die on when it comes to effort. If I was you, I'd bring it up in the new year after the holidays. Now is now when she's going to pull back.